I grew these throughout fall, winter, and now it's spring, so it's now March. Ready? I grew these, if you remember, in 3-gallon pots, cloth pots, and they're looking quite amazing, if not a little bit overcrowded, which caused some to grow more than others. These two were mostly grown indoors throughout the fall and winter, and because of that they didn't get as much light, so they kind of grew a little bit smaller. And this one, actually, from day one of the transplant, they were outside in the elements, so they're a bit stronger than these ones. All right, so let's take a closer look at each. Okay, so this is one of them that was planted inside for the most part, and near the end of December, January, thereabout, I placed them outside because they were looking a little bit straggly. You can see that the lemon balm, the lemongrass that I planted with it didn't really survive the transition, but that's okay. We still have our Swiss chard. Because I have limited space and I'm growing in a small space indoors and on my balcony, I can't really follow the same rules of, spacing out the Swiss chard for maximum growth. So I had to kind of pack in a lot and do companion planting to allow me to have enough Swiss chard. So the best thing to do actually is, once you have your viable leaves, you harvest them and use them so that they can keep reproducing for you, keep producing, and they won't be as bitter. So they won't gain any bitterness. So let's harvest these. Start taking the outer leaves and it will grow back. The best thing I would say, you can cut off at about here and the entire plant will grow back, but I don't need so much. So I will just take my trusty scissors and at the base, so find the base of the stem and harvest my Swiss chard. This is going to be so delicious. So I'm thinking of doing like a steamed veggie meal for dinner. So you can see this one it was being hidden by the taller ones, right? So this is one of the disadvantages of packing too many into one space. So what I will do is, when I cut it back, I will ensure that this one is facing the sun more so that it can get some air, some breath of fresh air. So let's look at this one. And funny thing is that I actually did not fertilize these. I forgot. that's my bad. So they have not been fertilized. So this is literally sun, water, and the location that I placed it in. So that's one thing that you have to really pay attention to, is the conditions that you grow your chard in, like I mentioned before. So you can leave a few leaves on it. Oh, this one isn't dead. It's not. No, look, there's life on this one. Oh, yay. Let's see if it will come back now that it has space. These ones I broke accidentally. Whoops. My bad. And if you see leaves like this one, please, you can remove them, right? It can be because of the lack of sunshine, it needs more nutrients, etc. So I'm just taking the outer leaves, the larger leaves, and leaving these. And don't worry, they will grow back. And now it's looking a little barefaced, but that's all good. They will grow back and give you more. So I cut it all the way back. What you can do is you can just cut as much as you need at the time. So harvest for your need and keep going back to it. Kind of like lettuce, most leafy greens, you can just, harvest what you need and the plant will keep reproducing for you. But this one, I just decided to give it a full bodily trim. All right, so let's look at the second pot. Okay, so this is our second one that was also planted with some lemon balms. What you can see here is what generally happens when you have overcrowding. So if you don't constantly rotate your pot, then you're going to have the ones that are getting most of the sun and they faced in the elements and most of the rain, they will grow stronger and sturdier, and they will actually block the light from these ones. So these are smaller because they're struggling to gain more light. So what I'm going to do is, after I harvest these, I will remove the smaller ones, and I'm going to companion plant them with my strawberries, because strawberries will add more flavor to my Swiss chard. So let's get to harvesting. And as I said, remember, find the outer leaves, get as close to the base as you can, and clip away. So let's speed this up. Okay, so now that it's fully harvested, what I will do is these smaller ones that are still a bit leggy, they're struggling a bit, I'm going to, transplant them into another pot where they can have a bit more space, so some more room to grow. So I'm gonna use my trusty helper and let's try this one. Okay. So we'll get as close to the base as possible, try not to disturb the root, and just lift it out. So you can see this one was really struggling because the pot was too overcrowded. So please avoid overcrowding if you can. So I'm just going to put these to the side and then transplant them a little later. Oops. Making a mess. And the lemon balm can be removed as well. So I'm just going to leave this one because it should be okay. All right, let's take a look at the last pot. Okay, so this is the monster of a pot. This one was, fully out in the elements. It's looking amazing. So I will cut them back a bit to give more space. And the best thing I can say is just harvest as much as you can, as once it's ready to be harvested, harvest enough leaves. So let's take a look. So you can see I had my scallion, spring onion, green onions, whatever you want to call them, here, growing with it as a companion plant. So it's one of the best things to do in a garden, or when you have limited space, a small space gardening, container gardening, is the companion plant. They benefit each other. It helps you with, it helps you to use up the space that you have. Plus the plants can be beneficial to each other. So whether they add additional nutrients or they prevent pests. So like this one, it helps to prevent the pests. So these are so amazing. And remember to cut away any dead leaves that you may have. Oops. Okay, so this is fully overcrowded, so I'm going to have to remove some and put them somewhere else. What I will also do is I'm going to harvest these to cook tonight. So you can do it, a few inches from the base, and it will grow back for you. Oh, this smells so good. And it will grow back stronger. All right, so let's remove the ones that we think, definitely this one. So this is one, root ball intact. Like these two are way too close together. So I'm going to remove this one, make some space. So this one as well will be removed. So we're just making a little bit more room for all of my chard. So what actually happened with this is I had one main plant, and as I showed you before, the Swiss chard seeds, because they look like this, they're actually clusters of seeds. So you will have maybe 2 or more seeds in one. No. So what happened was when one stalk came up and germinated, there were other seeds just remaining dormant in there. So once I put this outside, so if you compare, let's see if we can put a comparison video here. So you can see that it wasn't as crowded as it is now, but these 3 are coming from the same pod because when I transplanted one of them, the others actually germinated after and produced extra Swiss chard. So that is a possibility that you should be aware of, and you can thin them out or transplant them somewhere else. All right, so this is what they look like now. A little bit sparse, but it's okay. They're going to grow back fully in a few days or in a few weeks or so. Let's look at my harvest. This is so amazing. Okay, Swiss chard update. It's now April 25th, 2021. And the ones that I pruned back, look at them, they grew back. So this is one of those crops that are cut and come again, right? I cut it down and look at them thriving. Now this one needs some water, so it's a little dry and it's struggling a bit because it didn't get enough light where it was hidden. So I moved this location and now they're kind of coming back, but I need to water it. But look at these. Do you see that? These are the ones that I had removed that were crowding the pot, and they are looking amazing. They've really bounced back. They were so tiny and flimsy. I'll see if I can put the comparison video up of how tiny and flimsy they were. And it's only it's now the 25th, and look at them coming strong again. So remember, you can plant your Swiss chard in autumn, and you can keep reaping that all the way into spring because it's months later, and look at them still going strong. I think I'll harvest some for my breakfast today. Yep. Yes. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video and that it was helpful to you in even the smallest way. Oh, and please check out this video and this playlist, and remember to subscribe for more gardening tips and tricks. Later.